Yo, 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 yo. Party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie, in the building. Man, jumping in. Sorry about being late, running a little bit behind, doing some stuff. Man, I'm jumping in, and I ain't even hit my joint. I can't even. How I'm gonna get fired up and excited, man, and I ain't even hit the joint. Hold on.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, but them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speak in the God.
Life is for those who regarded been using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you wisdom like the great Lena Holmes. So been torn, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasting like hey ya.
Yo, 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 shout out to my chat. I think I got somebody backstage. Hold on for a split second. I got somebody backstage, but let me do the shout outs real quick. Okay. Eric Serial is in the building. What's good? Knicks for Life is in the building. Salute. Salute to the sun. Salute to the hip hop legend, the Core Mega. B Baller for Real is in the building. The original DSJ is in the building. Salute to the son of the legend, Kerry Cox. L Maddox is in the building. Quiet Money is in the building. What's good? All right, B Willis in the building. Adam, what's good? I see you, man. Ad J in the building. What's good, bro? What's happening? I see y'all, man. Yeah, man. King Ember in the building. King Ribby, we can't wait till this summer, bro. We got to get that music, bro. Hip hop. You already know what it is. Right? My guy is backstage. Let me do the thing. Let me do this thing the right way. Hold on. Yo, that intro is fire, sir. What's good, Lee? What's happening?
What's good with you, man? Chilling, bro. How you feeling?
Man, I'm chilling. Robert Paul is in the building. Okay. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? Let's go. Lee, what's good, man? How you doing tonight, big fella?
Chilling, bro. Chilling, man. I'm ready for the topic for this evening. What's good?
Good, man. Good. Hey, man. So I have several of them topics, man. I have them kind of written down. I have them written down on. I got them written down somewhere. Well, we got some things written down there. There we go. So we got like a continuation from the other night. Some joints we didn't get the opportunity to get to, but we gonna get to them, bro. We gonna get to them, man. It is okay. Let me see. Oh, it's easy. I want to talk about postseason awards and if the Knicks should get any. Right. I want to talk about postseason awards and if the Knicks should get any. But before I do that, check this out. Yo, 1212, Adam, what's good, man? All right.
What's good, Adam? Come in on mute.
Yeah, he probably got a little something. Yeah, man. So Lee, it's time for postseason awards. You know they come out in dribs and drabs. You know they come out like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit at a time, right?
Trickles, the trickle amount.
Yeah. You know, ain't no harm in it. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying, concerned about that. But the fact that the coach of the year award is out, and we knew Mike Brown was gonna win it, right? We knew Mike Brown was gonna win it. Like I ain't hating on Mike Brown, right? I ain't hating on Mike Brown. But Tom Thibodeau again got votes. What does that say about Tibbs, bro? When Tom Thibodeau is getting votes for Coach of the Year,
he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah. Chat. What does that say? What does that say about Tom Thibodeau? That when the Coaches Association announces their Coach of the Year, that Tom Thibodeau gets votes in the Coach of the Year awards. Personally, I think it means something, but I don't know to what level, to what extent. Right? So if Tom Thibodeau is getting Coach of the Year votes in a year that Mike Brown is the clear runaway favorite because of what he did in Sacramento, it makes me think that Tom Thibodeau did a good job. Chat, what y'all thinking about the Coach of the Year? The Coach's Coach of the Year, not the NBA Coach of the Year. Yeah, man. I'm thinking the mere fact that Tibbs got recognized with votes means Tibbs did a heck of a job. You know what I mean?
He really did.
Yeah.
He really did. I mean, for that man to make that decision when he did in December,
right?
Come on,
right?
He knew what he was dealing with. He knew what he had, and then he just, If I'm gonna go out my way.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna get to each award, and I want to get your opinion on it. And if you're not like really, you know what I'm saying, I get it. You know what I mean? But I want to speak to each award just real quick.
Come on, bro.
And then you know what I'm saying, make a case for or against Knicks. All right. All right. So the first award, man, that I want to talk about in this postseason. Chat. Tell me who y'all think is the most improved player in the NBA is. Y'all already know mine. I already told y'all, and I'm biased.
I'm biased too, so it doesn't matter.
Lee, do we have the same most improved player? Do we
Of
have
course,
the same?
it's gotta be Jalen Brunson.
It's got to be Jalen Brunson, bro. Chat. The most improved player in the NBA, in my mind, is Jalen Brunson. Right? Because last year, Jalen Brunson was a cat that averaged 15 points a game. And this year, he's averaging like 24, 25 points a game.
He was considered a sidekick.
Yeah. Yeah. The hip-hop legend Cormega says, Jalen Brunson going to be most improved. Yeah, my man took on a brand new role, leading the team. That team was not in the playoffs, right? Jalen Brunson comes, that team goes back to the playoffs. He improves the scoring averages by scoring by about 10 points. And how is he not the NBA most improved player of the year? Ron Cleveland in the building. What's good, boss? How is Jalen Brunson not the most improved player? To me, it makes too much sense. Right?
Well, they're gonna give it to who's made a bigger jump than him this year?
So there are a few players out there that I think people want to see win most improved player.
They better be on a winning franchise.
Well, of course, you already know a lot of people have an axe to grind against the Knicks already, but I don't care. As long as we know people have an axe to grind against the Knicks,
we're doing something good.
Yeah, and then plus, it's like the thing. It's like the thing where you know somebody don't like you. You're like, okay, I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with somebody pretending to like me and they don't. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's one of them things. Adam, what's good, man?
What's
good, Adam?
Holy, what's good?
What's up,
yeah,
bro?
Man.
Yeah, man.
What are you thinking about Tom Thibodeau getting votes for Coach of the Year?
I don't know. He doesn't deserve that. No, he does not deserve that. Not right now. I will give him the Coach of the Year if the Knicks win the championship.
Right. No, he didn't. But no, we didn't say that he won Coach of the Year. We said he got votes for Coach of the Year. Mike Brown won Coach of the Year.
Nah. He didn't do enough to be voted Coach of the Year.
All right. Well, he got those votes.
Sir.
He got those votes anyway. Somebody that knows more basketball than us said he did deserve those votes, and they voted for him. So, but the most improved player, Lee, the most improved player, right? The most improved player. Is it a runaway for Jalen Brunson? Is Jalen Brunson the runaway?
I say yes.
I think so too.
Without a question. And if he doesn't get that, then there's something seriously going wrong with the NBA.
Something serious, because I think in most circles, Lauri Markkanen is probably the leader in the clubhouse about the most improved player. Oh my! Look who we got here. What's good, boss?
Man, what's going on tonight,
Ron, Cleveland, what's good, Ron?
We chilling, boss. We are chilling. We're talking about.
Hey, we getting closer to that thing, boy. You heard me?
Yeah, man. we legit. We're talking about the most improved player in the NBA and how it could not be any other player than Jalen Brunson. What player go from 15 points a game to 24 points a game, being a sidekick on the team, to being the main guy on the team, and then taking that team that missed the playoffs the year before, you get there, and now they make the playoffs. What else you got to prove?
And you missed something else, Freezie. The reason why that man the most improved player. A few things. How many have come to New York to try to be that point guard?
Oh.
And failed.
Oh, my God.
And failed. Not only that, let's just keep it all the way 100.
Right.
If Jalen Brunson didn't pop, we might have been looking at another whole front office and another whole coach coming in here next year.
Right.
That man stabilized the whole franchise.
Right.
Not only that, look what he did for Julius Randle.
Right.
Julius Randle not only returned to form, but he's surpassed what he was when he got the first All-Star nod.
Right.
You know what I mean? And most players that we know that had that fall from grace in New York City, it's a wrap.
Right.
You don't come back from that. They got to get you up out of town.
Right.
So when I look at all the factors, and then I look at the effects he's having on the younger players, i.e. one person in particular, Emmanuel Quickley.
Right.
A lot of stuff Emmanuel Quickley doing this year, Emmanuel Quickley wasn't doing last year.
Right.
Emmanuel Quickley had no mid-range jump shot last year. Emmanuel Quickley didn't keep his dribble. You know what I mean? It's a lot that this dude has brought to this organization, man, and you know what I mean? We benefiting as Knicks fans. Right. Ain't a doubt. And another reason why the man is the MVP and marketing ain't. Marketing team is at home watching the playoffs.
That's exactly.
So you can't reward a man for losing over a man who achieved.
Just because he took more shots. Let me bring my guy Dre in here real quick. Hold on, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to get in my bars, man. Why you dropping the beat?
I ain't got the beat. Somebody got it playing in their background. That wasn't me.
Okay. What up, y'all? What up, Ron? What up, Adam? What up, Lee? What up, Freezie? What up to the chat?
Yeah.
I see the conversation was kind of like pointed towards most improved player.
Yeah.
And and I'm biased. I think Jalen Brunson is the most improved player, but I can also see why Lauri Markkanen is in the conversation, and here's why. It's an optics type of thing, where Lauri Markkanen was 14 points per game last year, and Jalen Brunson was in the playoffs balling. Right. So from the outside looking in, coming into the season, players weren't expecting Lauri Markkanen to get to be a 25 point per game guy on great splits. People were expecting Jalen Brunson to achieve, maybe not to this level, but people were expecting him to hit 20-point ranges or average maybe low 20s and be an impactful key guy on a team that might lead the team to the playoffs. Because you got to remember, we won 37 games without him.
Right.
He just puts us completely over the top in terms of making us a viable team. There is no Julius Randle on the Jazz. It's just call a spade a spade. Julius is going to make All-NBA. Jalen Brunson just made Julius Randle better. Jalen Brunson is probably the better player right now in terms of his pure impact on the game.
Okay.
But when we talk about most improved, it's relative to past achievements, relative to past performance. So when other teams look into it, or other media entities, right, they'll see a guy that averaged 14 last year that jumped to 25 on great splits and higher volume.
Okay.
And then they'll see Jalen Brunson in the playoffs last year, ball out, leave, get paid, come to a situation where he is the lead guy, and it's expected for him to not maybe be this good, but it was expected of him to be good. And I don't think there were these expectations for Lauri at all coming into this year.
So, Dre, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Lauri Markkanen the number one option in Utah?
Yes.
Yes.
So how many shots he takes a game?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I have to look.
He get what he wants.
He get what he wants, but he's really efficient. He's really efficient.
Whenever he gets so when I'm looking at it from my vantage point, of course I'm a little biased because I'm a Knicks fan.
Yeah, of course.
But if he's the number one option over there, he should be averaging 20 plus a game.
He averages 25.
Right or wrong, he should be averaging.
Yeah, for sure.
He should be averaging. But I get what you're saying on how the optics stuff and how they gonna look at it. But man, when you look at the totality of the situation, where the New York Knicks are at,
Jalen Brunson's impact is.
Nobody expected the Knicks to be no fifth seed and no playoff. Heck, ain't nobody expected the Knicks to be in the playoffs outside of Knicks fans.
True.
And then a lot of us Knicks fans didn't believe we was going to the playoffs. The Knicks looked like they was about to be headed for another rebuild.
Right.
And people was about to get fired.
Ron Cleveland, those people that didn't believe, they wasn't real Knicks fans.
No, I ain't gonna say that.
You ain't gotta say it. I'ma say it.
I ain't gonna say it because you know why I ain't gonna say it? Because I was one of them Knicks fans that didn't believe we was going to no playoffs. Not when we first got this team together. Once the team started playing, that's different. Before this thing
I tried to show you love, but you included yourself. But I gotta call you in that group then. You was perpetrating a fraud at that moment then.
No. See, you failing being real with being a fraud. When you real, you can admit when you're wrong.
Right.
And so I just told you, I didn't look at this team as no playoff team when we got Brunson. Heck, we weren't even in the playoffs the year before. So how I'm going to jump and say just because we got Brunson, we going to the playoffs when this team was in disarray. We was getting rid of players, trying to get players in here. I wasn't jumping out the window like that.
As we talking about all the context, there was a lot of COVID going around the team. Almost every player on our team got COVID. There's a lot of injuries. Kemba knees, Fournier defense.
That's why you proving the point for why I said we were. Man, you forgot what kind of team we was last year?
Terrible.
I know, but I'm giving the context of why we were bad.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why anybody who didn't think we weren't going to the playoffs this year, I ain't gonna call them a fraud. I'm calling them a realist because you based on what you see. Ain't nothing gave me no evidence last year the way we looked coming into this season to think we was going to the playoffs. Man, we had so many more questions. We had more holes on this team than a Delta Force.
Ron, even though all the disarray, right? We only lost 4 games than the previous year, so I didn't overreact.
But there was only 61 games played the previous.
It was
71. That's 10 games.
61 games played, and that's no excuse, man. You can only do what's on your.
And let me tell you another reason why I didn't think we was going to no playoffs. Man, we was talking about getting rid of our number one player at the beginning of the season, before the season started. During the offseason, they were talking about trading Julius Randle.
That was only fans. The organization was never talking like that. That was only
the fans. You better do your research.
That was only the fans. And I don't believe them. I don't believe them fake reporters
you better
neither.
Do your research.
I don't believe them fake reporters neither. They be capping, Ron. You don't believe all the cap, right?
I don't believe all the cap, but man, do you forget how bad it was? That's what I'm telling you. You got selective memory. I think you forget how bad it was.
That's more cap. I don't got selective memory.
Hey, anybody on this
I'm
panel?
not saying we wasn't bad.
Freezie, I want you to throw up a poll to say how many Knicks fans thought we were going to the playoffs at the start of the season. I would like to know that.
I did. I said we were going to win close to 50 games, and we did.
I want to give a bit of more.
You can go back. I'm on record.
I'm gonna give a bit measured take. I think general consensus, even from Vegas or the average fan, assumed the Jalen Brunson move would at least put us in the play-in. Now, the jump from the play-in to making the playoffs was something that I didn't anticipate. I assumed play-in. I assumed 6, 7, 8 seed, somewhere in that range.
There's no top 5.
I didn't assume 5. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't assume 5, but us getting the 5 and everything rolling how it was, and let's keep close to this. Last year with everything that went wrong, and Tim's being a coach that tries to maximize winning, the fact we won 37 games last year with everything going wrong means if we add a someone of a talent of Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson has passed all expectations, that even if we were to get the baseline of Jalen Brunson last year, we would have been a 500 team, in my mind.
And another
he's
thing, too.
surpassed that.
Another thing, Dre.
Yeah.
Before that Josh Hart trade, what was the Knicks record?
We were like three games over 500. Like
we was how many?
3 games over 500.
I wonder what where we were sitting at when talking about playoffs and playing before that Hart trade.
We were around the 6-7 route. We were 6-7 range. I believe.
Basically, we was headed for a play-in.
Yeah. But the context is the East did get better in the whole process.
Yeah, and the East got better. But the thing is, it's a lot to contribute to why the Knicks, in the playoffs. And that ain't even been the question that Freezie asked anyway. Freezie asked, about the, who should be the sixth man of the year.
No, most improved. Most improved player.
Most improved.
You know what I mean? We playing with house money, and the conversation steered about who thought we was going to the playoffs. That wasn't
in a second.
Yeah. You know what I mean? The main thing was
Jalen Brunson, sixth man of the year, IQ.
I agree with both.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both them guys should get it. Both them guys should get. To me, man. It's just as simple as this, man. The Knicks been looking for a point guard since Stephon Marbury. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
And maybe since before that.
And maybe even before that. But that's the last great one we had on this team.
Hey, Ron, if we talking about actually great though,
nah, I wouldn't agree.
Brunson is the best point guard the Knicks have had since Clive Frazier. Literally.
Yeah.
And I'm not even reaching or grasping. Statistically, like across the board, he is the best point guard the Knicks have had, or best individual season the Knicks have had from a point guard since Clive Frazier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to say too, this the biggest. That's another reason why that man should be the most improved player too. Right. When you look at signings, who team got impact the most by somebody switching over to their team?
Dallas
felt the impact of losing that guy, and the Knicks benefited from getting that guy. And it's a ripple effect.
Right.
Yep.
And
my bad.
Just real quick about the most improved award thing. Listen, Lauri Markkanen has been super efficient to say he's a 7-footer, right? So I'm not even the fact that a 7-footer is shooting 90% from the free. Y'all seen Mitch shoot free throws? You watch Mitch shoot free throws,
man. Them darts.
Yeah,
lasers.
And then when you watch Lauri Markkanen hit 90%, automatically you appreciate Lauri Markkanen, right? And then automatically when Lauri Markkanen is shooting 40% from 3, it makes you, this dude is putting up Dirk Nowitzki type numbers, and he didn't put up Dirk Nowitzki type numbers last year. Now, when it comes to the conversation of most improved, while I think Lauri Markkanen is greatly improved, I don't think he is more improved than Jalen Brunson, right? So I'm not knocking anything that Lauri Markkanen is doing. Let me say that clearly.
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen had an excellent season. He is greatly improved.
Yeah, because he surprised me.
Right, but the fact that Jalen Brunson came to a team that missed the playoffs last year, right, and drugged them. There were games this year where this Knicks team wanted to revert back to and looked like last year's team, but Jalen Brunson didn't allow it. There were games where Jalen Brunson got into the Chicago game where Jalen Brunson got into the Brunson burner and he was being guarded by Patrick Williams and DeMar DeRozan. Bruh, don't sleep on some of
Caruso.
the impact. And
broke his ankles.
Yes.
Oh man, he's still laying down on the ground.
He's still sleeping on the job, bro. And so what I'm saying is no disrespect to Lauri Markkanen because he had a fantastic season for a big on a franchise that's going through a transition with a young head coach and a uneven Western Conference, right? So kudos to him, but salute and kudos to Jalen Brunson for taking what last year was a grease fire. It was a grease fire last year, and he turned it into the 5th seed in the East.
I want to ask you. Freezie. My bad, Luke.
Go ahead,
I mean, Corey. My bad, Ron. But what gap do you think is wider, Brunson in the most improved or IQ and 6'9"?
I want to get to that. I want to stay on the most improved thing.
Well,
let me do the most
that's
improved.
a good question.
I feel you. I feel you. But
let's finish that. We'll get to that later.
One step at a time, because we ain't even. Yeah, one step at a time. I think G Money. I think the link is in the chat already. Let me see. Let me put this.
I'll drop it. I got you.
But I tell you this.
I'll drop it. I got you.
Another thing, Freezie. Man, you think about how disarray this team was in the offseason, man.
Right.
I mean, we had a coach that people was talking about needed to be fired.
Right.
Now we talking about this coach for most.
Maybe even the front office.
I mean, and the front office. Like, this thing was bad.
Right.
That's why I was like, playoffs. I wasn't even thinking about no playoffs.
Right.
You know what I mean? The season started, but once I seen how them boys started playing, I was like, okay, look like they can make some noise. But coming into the offseason, man, it was a mess with this team, man. This team was a mess. And Jalen Brunson, we all said it, that Jalen Brunson saved the front office job and Tibbs.
Right.
Hey, playoff fans, yep.
Hey, what's good, boss?
What's cracking?
What's up, G Money?
Hey,
salute,
bro.
What up, G Money?
What I'm
hey, not. Yo.
But Freezie, I wanted to say something to Tibbs right quick though.
Okay. Well, let me clarify. I just want to say, just because they were on thin ice, don't necessarily mean a termination was imminent. But Knicks fans felt like it may have been. Yeah, Ron, my bad.
I say this about Tibbs, man. Tibbs definitely one of the better coaches in this league, man. And I think, and I'm gonna tell you this. When you asked that question, when you was talking about it earlier, I started thinking about it. You know what it is? Is that, see, us as real Knicks fans, not casuals, we watch every game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So everything the coach does is on the table going to be scrutinized. The same way we get to look at each one of these players and we get to scrutinize them, right?
Right.
Them other teams, their coaches got flaws too. But guess what? The difference is we don't watch their coach every game. And one right now got a lot of flaws up there in Miami that they're trying to get rid of him.
Eric Spoelstra. Exactly.
And this man got a couple rings. And Miami always been a good team. You see what I'm saying? So when we look at things, man, there's every coach in this association, you can look at it and say, if you're a fan of that team, I guarantee you get somebody that's watched their team each one of these organizations, they'll be able to tell you flaws that those coaches got, things that they do that they hate. But the thing is we under the biggest microscope and we get to watch Tibbs night in and night out. You know what I mean? Is he a perfect coach? No, but I can tell you this. That man overachieved again this year.
47 wins.
No, he didn't overachieve.
Thank you.
Two out of the last three seasons, man.
No, that's not overachievement, man. See, this is another problem. Why we always underselling what we are accomplishments? Why don't we oversell the things that we accomplish? Because the simple fact that hold on, Gideon.
Okay.
The fact that people don't, just because you didn't see it happening doesn't mean it was oversold. You underselling it because you ain't see it happening, right? Just because you ain't see the vision doesn't mean that other people ain't see the vision and it's not according to plan. You know what I mean?
But TSK, did you see Jalen Brunson averaging 24 when he got here?
Look, man, I seen us winning close to 50
That's
games.
not my question. That's not my question.
Man, I'm
That's
answering
not my
your
question.
If you like to answer, that ain't my problem, homie.
Did you thought Jalen Brunson had
Hold on a second, G-Money, slow down, man. We ain't going to be over talking to each other.
Yeah.
You asked me a question. I
Go ahead,
Smoke.
My fault, Smoke. You right.
Any other questions?
Nah, I got it.
Nah, man.
All right. I tell you this, when you look at the Knicks, they definitely overachieved, man. They definitely nobody
over Miami.
I'm not going for that.
Yo, let Ron talk, please.
I mean, you may not want to go for it, but the proof is, you talking about a team that didn't make the playoffs last year to go into the 5th seed.
What they do the previous year, Ron?
Hold on, man. Let me finish. Let me finish. Now you go do some research and do your history, because I'm a history buff, and all annals of history. I have never seen a team in the NBA come from not making the playoffs the year before to making on 5th seed. I have never seen that.
I mean,
not as long as I've been watching it.
We didn't make the playoffs before, and we made it with the 4th seed. Granted, the East was weaker.
Yeah, and it was weak. It was weaker that year, exactly.
The East was definitely
remember all
weaker.
the prognostications on the season. They said, the East is going to be so tough this year, and it did get better.
It did.
But to see this team go to the 5th seed from not making the playoffs, and like I said, all the stuff that was swirling this team, I tell you what, I didn't see Julius. I knew Julius Randle. I said Julius Randle will have a bounce back season,
but not
I didn't see no 25 and 10. Being statistically the second best power forward in the league, only behind Giannis.
We only overachieved because most of y'all dudes didn't think Randle was going to become an all-star again. They was like, no, he'll never become an all-star again, right? I know. I know. Y'all all was a part of the crowd. I ain't going to say no names, but y'all all was a part of it, right?
Let me tell you
so
this.
Now,
ask Freezie.
Talking
Freezie. Hey, Freezie.
Yo, I got you.
Freezie, do you remember I was one of the first people in this offseason that said Julius Randle was going to have a bounce-back season.
Okay. He was.
Okay.
I said he was going to have a bounce-back season. And truth be told, Julius Randle, one of my favorite players on this team.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So away from Julius Randle, if Jalen Brunson is the most improved player, does that mean the national media is starting to recognize that we really doing something here? Or is it even important for the national media to recognize that we're doing something here?
It is important. It is important, man. Because at the end of the day, you want recognition. You want. For us,
I want to stay under the radar. Let them sleep. Let them sleep.
But you know what though? You want that because if they're not recognizing you, then in a lot of ways they're being disingenuous. Because there's a lot of people in the media, and there's one person right now that I got to give a lot of props to, and that's Kendrick Perkins. Because he's been holding the Knicks down all season. You know what I mean? Giving us our props. But a lot of these jokers still talking about, these the same old Knicks, and let's see what they do. And let's see when the lights, hey, man, give us our credit, man. Everybody, they want to give Sacramento their credit, and Sacramento probably been a joke worse than the Knicks. When the last time they've been in the playoffs?
2006.
Yeah.
You see
I was gonna say, like, Ron, like you make a great point. When we talk about these guys and their careers and their livelihoods, they put in that 10,000 hours. They put in the work to get good. They put in the work to earn the salaries that they earn. Of course, they want acknowledgement from their peers, from the media.
Right.
And like you can't say that fly under.
Voting for these awards.
Like for instance, if you were top 5 at whatever it is you do or your position in the world, you don't want acknowledgement for it.
Right.
Man, absolutely.
Right. And to Ron's point about New York overachieving, New York was ranked to win 38.5 games this season, to win around 39 games. No one had us even winning 40 games. And this is almost virtually the same roster as last year, almost. We only lost Gibson and Noel and Burks last year. Mm-hmm. Who thought would be better than Miami and Chicago? Who thought would be better than?
I did.
I mean, you did, but did many people thought that? No.
I knew Chicago wasn't going to make it because Lonzo. They fell apart with Lonzo.
Yeah. That's why you can't.
You thought would be better than Toronto?
Great point guard. Because when he was rolling, they was rolling.
Now I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought Toronto was gonna be good. I thought Chicago was gonna be good. Based off of how they looked last year. But I did predict the Knicks to go 47 and 35. But I said that on the show that Queen B and I had, and I was like, the only reason why I didn't pick 50 wins at the time was I don't know, because things have to fall right for you to win 50 games.
Injuries too, like staying healthy and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and then Julius didn't get hurt. We would have won 50.
I don't want to go a projection round. You don't know that.
Hold on, man. I'm talking, man. Goddamn.
Sorry.
What the hell going on? Sorry about that, cousin. Sorry about that, cousin. If I offended somebody, I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is in order for a team to win 50 games, you've really got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Like, you can't ever lose to Orlando or the Charlottes or the teams that are bad NBA teams. You can't lose to Houston and the Orlandos. And what happened is, in the prior year, we had lost to Orlando a couple of times. And when I was thinking, like, when I was talking to the Queen Bee about it, it was like, yo, if we losing to Orlando, if Orlando got our number, I don't know if this team can win 50 games. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those deals where, in order for you to win 50, you got to really eat on the teams that are not as good as you, the bad teams. You got to feast on them. That's what the Milwaukee's do, and the Celtics do, and the 76ers do. They eat on lesser teams, and then they beat teams that are on their level or maybe a little bit higher. Hey, go ahead, G Money. My bad.
Ron, I mean, I know losing Randle, but we can't go hypothetical. We don't know that. We can say for every team in the NBA. Maybe we would have won those games with Randle. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't. We can't go what if. We don't know that. It's a hypothetical. We don't know how we would have looked with Randle. I mean, I love Randle. He's had a great year, but we don't know we would have won 50 games with Randle. We don't know that. It's a what if. We don't know what adjustments those teams could have done with Randle. So we can't go woulda, coulda, shoulda, you know? We got to go about what is, you know?
Okay.
I hear you. I just look at Julius' value and Julius on that court, and the teams and how those games that we lost. Julius Randle would have been a problem. That's 25-10. You can't sneeze at that. We lost in our lineup, especially when we had a guy that we couldn't really count on like that. And I ain't gonna even talk about him. Y'all know who he is. I'm tired of talking about him. You know what I mean? I talk about him. I ain't saying nothing.
RJ Starrett. RJ Starrett.
I ain't calling his name. I said I'm going on a strike.
Look, man, you ain't got to do it. That's what I'm here for. I'm Smoke Dog.
I feel you, but
I'm going to call it like I see it, man.
Yes,
nobody want to have the conversation about the weakest link going into the playoffs. We want to keep talking about what Julius going to do and what Brunson going to do. Let's talk about the weakest link going into the playoffs and who we really
need. This ain't the conversation.
But what
he was saying in general.
That's why I brought it up so I could make it a conversation.
Right.
You see?
He's saying it in general because a lot of times content creators dodge the question like doesn't think about RJ Barrett. Right. I think
correct.
Right. But for this show we were trying to head in a certain direction, man. If we could just stay linear.
All right, my bad.
Nah, just so that we can pick y'all brain. Because there's a bunch of smart dudes here, and we want to pick y'all brains about certain topics, man. Just talking about the same thing over and over and over don't necessarily get us nowhere, right?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But to pick y'all brains about different topics, now that we have a big chat in here that know a lot about Knicks basketball, is prime time for us to talk about these topics. Like, so we talked about Jalen Brunson being the most improved player, right? Let's talk about Emmanuel Quickley winning or not winning the NBA Sixth Man of the Year. Right?
Oh, he most definitely deserves it.
Lee, since you started, man, go ahead and go first, and then y'all go around the panel, man. Just don't cut each other off when you do it, so I can hear it.
I most definitely think this young man deserves it. I mean, he's overcome a lot of things. I mean, he's changed his game completely to the point where he's not over dribbling. He's looking for his teammates. He's helping out tremendously on defense. His defense improved. He's got a mid-range now.
Right.
You know, these are things that, you know, he didn't have last season. And also, too, you know, he's not quick to chuck the ball like he used to. He used to get on the court and think he's instant offense and just, like, put a 40 when he wanted to. And, I mean, he realized he become a better all-around ball player, a better basketball player, and a better team-oriented basketball player.
Okay.
I tell you what, for me, Freezie, and that's some great points, Corey. Just to add on to what you said, for me, in a voting session, it's a landslide for Quickley.
Oh yeah.
It ain't even a question. That man statistically is the best perimeter defender on this Knicks team, probably the best defender on ball right now. When you look at how he guard people, he's a two-way player. And I said this a long time ago during the season. This guy is our third best player on this team. Period.
Okay.
It's not even a question. He's the third best player on this team. And one can argue, you take Quickley away from this team, the Knicks will be in a lot of problems because that guy not only spells Jalen Brunson where he can run the starting lineup with the starters, but he's also responsible for running that second unit. So, in my opinion, it's a landslide. It ain't even close. All these other guys they talking about, they ain't need to even compare him to Quickley with what Quickley's doing. And then not only that, the man has when he's in the starting role, looked like a starting point guard in this league.
He looks like an all-star.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah.
But Ron, what I'm asking you is this: what makes Immanuel Quickley the best sixth man in the league? Not if he good, because we all know he good. We watch the games. What makes him better than 29 other six men in the league? What makes him six man of the year?
What makes him the best? Because that six man, you want him to come in and be able to give you instant offense, and that is exactly what Quickley does. And it's a lot of games, man, that you've seen this season where the starting lineup didn't have it going.
Right.
And teams were starting to get leads on us, and them leads was creeping. And then Quickley come in the game and just totally change the whole outlook. So much so that Quickley is staying on the floor during crunch time. And this is just six men that's staying on the floor when that other guy is supposed to be on the floor.
Okay.
So that lets me know when I see stuff like that, man, I can't deny the impact. When you can't keep a player, when you can't keep that player on that bench and he has to be on the court, that to me is all I need to see.
I could chime in and what if you ask me. Well, I posed the question a little bit earlier. I think the gap between most improved and six man Quickley, the gap. They're changing the rules on what a six man should be, just to be convenient to put Brogdon in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But I digress. But the gap between who's the six man, I think IQ clears by far who should be behind him as far as 1 and 2. And the thing is, when you ask your six man, like you mentioned, the instant offense, 95% of six men don't even play no defense, let alone be elite at defense. When you talk about six men, you talk about like Malik Monks, who's in the discussion for it. He don't play a lick of defense. When you talk about the history of six men, the ones that have won it multiple times, Jamal Crawford's, the Lou Williams, they don't play no defense.
Okay.
And this guy's coming in here.
100% correct.
This guy's coming in here giving you offensive punch, and when we have a guy down, he comes in immediately and gives you 27 and 5, hypothetically. I'm just throwing these numbers out there, but that's the baseline. That's the minimum that you're getting out of him when he starts games.
Okay.
And that is part of being a six man. When you're a six man, you are the first guy that comes in when there's injuries in the starting lineup.
It's true.
Hey Dre, question.
Yeah.
How many games Quickley played this year?
81.
There you go. And how many Brogdon played? Because I know he's known for missing time. He known for missing work.
12.
Yeah.
Give me some time, please. All right.
He's known for missing time from work.
Yeah, and
he played 67 games this year.
So you missed 15 games. Okay.
That's quite a bit of games.
Okay, so when you talk about the six man, this is first of all the six man conversation should be qualified, right? Because when Dre was talking, I was like, well, what does a six man really mean, right? Does six man mean the first guy off the bench, or does it mean the sixth starter, right? And I know people will be like, some people will be like, well, it's the same thing. In my mind, it's not, right? In my mind, you have five guys, you know what I'm saying, that rock together as one, and then you have a bench unit that injects energy, and then if somebody misses a game or something like that, then somebody off the bench will start, because that's the natural order of things, right? But in my mind, Quickley is more like the sixth starter than the first guy off the bench. You feel me? Say, for instance, for instance, if R.J. Barrett misses a game, right, at the 3, I would feel comfortable with Tibbs going with Grimes at the 3 and Quickley at the 2.
He's done that.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so when I see it, when I look at it that way as this guy being the 6th starter, I think there is no doubt that that eliminates most people from 6 Man of the Year award is just Quickley and Malcolm Brogdon. And I know that there are other excellent. The backup point guard in Memphis should be considered.
Tyus Jones.
He should be considered because without Ja Morant, it's like they don't miss a beat, right?
Agreed.
Right. But the thing that Quickley does on a nightly basis that Malcolm Brogdon doesn't do, whereas Malcolm Brogdon gives you sustenance. Like Malcolm Brogdon is a chicken dinner every night, right? Every night you're gonna get baked chicken, green beans, and rice every night in a roll, right? And some lemonade, right?
True.
But Quickley gives you that occasional steak dinner option where Quickley is the best player on the floor, regardless of that Boston game. One can say that Emmanuel Quickley was the best player on the floor. That included Brogdon, Tatum, Brown, and Randle. Right? Quickley's upside in games, to me, pushes him over the top because the numbers, when you go by like the sheer numbers, the numbers can say whatever you want. Right? But I've seen Quickley as the 6th Man of the Year and come impact the game with defense alone. His shot was off, and I think he was like 2 for 11 and like made like 3 free throws, but his defense set the tone in that game because every night your shot's not going to go, right? But can you still impact? There was a game where I think Quickley's shot was so bad he stopped shooting, but I think he gathered like 13 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm getting at is this: can Malcolm Brogdon do that? Did Malcolm Brogdon do that this year?
No,
I don't think so.
Freezie, you bring up the thing where the 6th starter.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brogdon's not even the 6th starter on that team. It's Derek White.
It's Derek White, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And one could argue Derek White is more impactful to the Celtics than Brogdon is.
I could agree with that.
I throw something else at you because you know what you building the case with Emmanuel Quickley for?
Most improved.
There you go. You read the line, Dre.
Right.
That's like the most improved player.
I was gonna say that, man. But the thing is when we have so when I get all of y'all on the panel, right? And instead of me talking about the nightly topics like, hey man, should we trade RJ? I could do that by myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't need y'all up here to talk about RJ Barrett. But when I got all of y'all here, and y'all have like this high intellect of basketball and experience, and y'all watch a lot of stuff, I gotta ask y'all these difficult questions. You know what I'm saying? To pick y'all brain.
True.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think y'all think it's fun. I think y'all enjoy it. I think y'all like it, right? So
it's good. It's
fun. So why not talk about is Emmanuel Quickley the 6th Man of the Year? And what in your mind is a 6th man? Is it the 6th starter or the first guy off the bench? And even though it sounds like a weird question when you ask it, when you play basketball, you like, nah. The only reason why he ain't starting is because there's a dude in front of him that's better. Or is he a part of that bench mob that has their own identity, right? And so last year, I think just real quick, last year I think Quickley was a part of that bench mob that had their own identity. This season, to Ron's point about most improved, is I think now Quickley is the 6th starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Freezie. I think it's kind of like dependent on situations because, like, when we talk about how Lou Williams won he was never really starting,
right?
True.
Or Jamal, and they weren't considered the 6th starter. They were just stars in their role,
right?
And which is perfectly fine. So like you can win either or,
Right.
It doesn't necessarily make it anything. I mean, it's not something that you should hold against someone.
No, I didn't say that. I was asking.
I know you're not. I'm like trying to explain to like the greater thought, like because I'm about to circle around.
Okay.
And to say that point, like Brogdon hasn't started a single game this year, and the Celtics have missed guys all over their starting lineup. Marcus Smart missed games, Tatum missed games, Brown missed games, Derek White missed games,
Robert Williams, Al Horford missed games.
Well, he's talking about backcourt guys that Brogdon could start. Yeah, that could start in their place.
And he didn't. And when we talk about like the sixth starter role, Derek White is the sixth starter on that team, and he's not better than Emmanuel Quickley. So that doesn't. So like when we talk about that award, it's so finicky the way like the media might handle it on their own biases.
Right.
So when you say like guys a sixth starter or just a strictly bench guy,
right?
Like, in my mind, it doesn't matter. It matters who had the best season, regardless of how they're plot in that role.
But
in my mind, because you can win it in multiple different ways. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what, Dre? When they quantify that, that's why what Freezie says really is how they should encompass that whole voting, because that sixth man, that means you typically are the first one to come off that bench.
Right.
You should be the first one that comes in that starting lineup if somebody goes down.
It's been the case until this year. It's been the case until this year, and you see media like trying to throw in, Brogdon has played every game off the bench. Nobody said nothing when Lamar Odom started damn near 40 games and won 6 man.
Right.
Yeah, because to me, that's the true 6 man. Is what everything Freezie just described. You know, hey, somebody goes out, hey, you come in and you gonna be starting. Ain't a question like we wondering like if RJ is hurt or Grimes hurt, who gonna be the first man to come off that bench that's gonna take their players in that lineup to start?
Right.
It's Quickley.
Anybody 1 through 3, anybody 1 through 3 gets hurt this quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you look at the Celtics, anybody 1 through 3 that comes up, it's Derek White, not Brogdon.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Derek White is not better than Quickley this year. So what are we even? How is this even a debate when they trying to throw Brogdon in this?
Yeah, I don't even know how Brogdon's name got put in it. Tell you the truth.
But right, Quickley's had way more of an impact. Quickley's had more. For me, 6 man, not just coming off the bench, but also position type, also durability, also coming through in the clutch on both sides of the ball. I mean, Quickley's been clutch for us not only offensively but also defensively, getting steals, deflections with the lob. Also, he's finishing well in contact too. Quickley's been doing well in finishing in contact too, and he's showing a lot. And he's not. I know he takes a lot of long threes, but if you actually watch New York this year, he's not taking as much long threes as he used to back then.
Right.
So that's another reason why Quickley is the 6th man of the year. His floater game's been on point, utilizing the mid-range game. The dribble pull-up is good, and he's finishing right at the rim. The spin move has been impeccable, and like you said, the perimeter defense. And also, I love how he's getting into the passing and pickpocketing guys. Right. He's just been phenomenal, man.
And to Freezie's point, when you mentioned Quickley could, like, you getting a chicken dinner with Brogdon, and you have a chance for getting a steak dinner with Quickley. Quickley has 9 30-point games this year. Right. Brogdon has 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he get 1 40 points. Did he get a 40 piece too?
Yeah, he got a 40 piece.
Yeah. And so when I make the distinction, you know what I'm saying? Basically what it comes down to with these awards is the team that people see play the most, the guys that get featured the most, are the guys that generally win these awards. The Celtics won 57 games, right? And so they're second. They're second in the East. So I understand why Brogdon is even in the conversation, because the national media sees him more than they see Emmanuel Quickley. And when you see Malcolm Brogdon, the Celtics are winning with Brogdon, though Brogdon has nothing to do most nights with that team winning. Right? Mm-hmm. When you watch Emmanuel Quickley, you see the Knicks in a dogfight with, say, a team like Cleveland. You see the Knicks in a dogfight with Cleveland, and since they're not high-stepping, since they're not walking through the flowers, and everything Emmanuel Quickley does is scrutinized, you'll be like, well, a lot of people, casual NBA voters, will say, well, Malcolm Brogdon was more impactful because when I see the Celtics, they're usually winning by 13, And when I see the Knicks, Emmanuel Quickley is in the game, and they're down by 2, and I saw him miss a 3 to give the Knicks the lead. And I know that's petty. But when you watch these awards, it usually goes to a player on the team that wins the most games, like league MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Like MVP. Does MVP mean most valuable to the league or most valuable to the team? There is no clear distinction.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I was gonna say, like, Brogdon wins in like the most basic of statistics in terms of, okay, he averages more points on higher shooting splits. That's it. Everything else in terms of defense, like, if we were to go to advanced metrics, the Knicks are better when Quickley's on the court. The Celtics are marginally worse when Brogdon's on the court. Not that Brogdon is a negative player. It's just that they're so much better when he doesn't play.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what I think it is, too, a lot of times, too, is let's just face it. I mean, people, they look at your history, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you had the name Michael Brogdon, you know what I mean, Malcolm Brogdon on a category list, I mean, you already know the type of player this man has been throughout his career.
Right.
So whatever he does this year, you know what I mean, that stuff is going to get magnified. You know what I mean? And for Quickley, this is really year 1 of Quickley to be in this role. You know, it's the same thing like, man, what's a good barometer? Because it's something else they do in the league when it comes to that. Oh, case in point, MVP.
Right.
Yeah.
They do the same thing with the MVP. If your first year coming into it, chances are they ain't gonna give it to you unless you do something like Derrick Rose did. You know,
and that was voter fatigue, because we all know LeBron was the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Regardless of what Derrick Rose did.
Yeah, and Derrick Rose was exciting too, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was new.
Yeah.
He was new. He was a new shiny toy that did crazy things on the court. And LeBron was just so great, it got boring to the voters.
And Dre, and you know what? I'll say this too, right? And I'll say this, and this is one of the things that I was going to talk about during the summer. Is this: if Ja Morant couldn't dunk, if Ja Morant wasn't explosive, right? And you looked at his numbers, would you consider Jalen Brunson to be better than him? I would say yes.
Ooh, you can say that.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Because I mean, just think about it. Like if Jalen Brunson is getting, like, basically what Jalen Brunson is doing is giving people dinner. Like Jalen Brunson is giving people chicken dinners, right?
Yeah.
You know, baked chicken, brown rice, you know what I'm saying, green beans in a roll. But Ja Morant is giving that steak with the sizzle with it. It's still dinner. It's still dinner, right? But Jalen Brunson ain't dunking on people.
It's the same calories. It's just
it's just
one is just more electrifying, and the other one is steady in it.
Right.
And so for that reason, I think the Jalen Brunson impact on the NBA and the Knicks is very understated. Because he's doing it in the safest way possible, right? But most fans don't like safe. We don't like our entertainment to be boring. We like to be entertained, exciting.
That is true.
You know,
that's just like when they tend to talk about the best point guards. You know what they like to talk about? Oh, his handles, and you know what I mean. Right. I can care less about all that flash, because a lot of players have flash and can't finish.
Right.
Give me somebody who know how to handle that ball and know how to put that thing in the hoop and don't turn the ball over.
Right.
That's what I want.
Right.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to the Emmanuel Quickley thing, I think Emmanuel Quickley is the sixth man of the year merely based on what he provides on the floor on a nightly basis with the personnel groupings he's with. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Malcolm Brogdon's personnel groupings, a halfway decent player is going to get those splits in that role Malcolm Brogdon is in.
Brogdon plays against second units the entire season.
Right.
IQ plays against starters, bench players. He play in lineups with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. Then he'll turn around and play in lineups with Miles McBride.
That's true.
Evan Fournier.
That's true. And
He
continues
looked
to
good in
shine.
all the lineups.
For sure.
But he looked good. I'm sorry, G-Man. Go ahead, G-Man. I'm sorry.
No, you got to finish up. Go ahead, Freeze, before I
I was gonna just really quick, and the reason, based on what Dre just said, that's the reason why it's a runaway in my mind IQ for Sixth Man of the Year, and also take into account when you look at the Vegas line for Sixth Man of the Year, as smart human beings. When Vegas puts a line out there for Sixth Man of the Year, you have to remember it's a betting line. It's for gamblers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's for gamblers, right? So even though it's basketball related and they know a lot of basketball, that line is out there for people to bet on or against it, right? It's not like Greg Popovich came out here and said it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Sharon got a good question in the chat. He says, Ron, what if we had given Deuce IQ minutes?
We don't know. That's a what if. We don't know.
Only thing I can tell you is I know Deuce would have continued to improve. That's all I can say.
He would improve, but
he would continue to improve because he showed some improvement. You know what I mean?
He's improved, but even dating back to IQ's rookie year,
right,
the flashes were much more common.
Exactly.
Even in small bursts. Like the flashes of being an impact player were way more common even in small bursts. And like we would see small bursts from Miles McBride, and outside of maybe the Portland game, I don't think he's ever had like a very, very major impact.
Right.
He'll show flashes on the defensive end, but in this NBA you need to be a two-way player. You can't just be all defense.
You're right. If them days of just being playing defense is gone, you got to be able to do both.
Yeah,
you got to be able to keep the teams honest. If you ain't got no offense and all you got is defense, they ain't gonna worry about you.
Right.
That's true.
And Deuce McBride can't guard 2s and 3s.
Nope.
Agreed. He's kind of slow with that. And speaking of flashes, I know we talk about the Knicks. Do you see any flashy upsets in these playoffs? I have one. I honestly think the Kings might.
G-Money, we trying to stay on a certain track, bro. I got you. I'm trying to stay on a certain track though.
We'll get to it after we.
Yeah, let me stay on this track and then we can get to it. But what I wanted and so basically what we're doing is postseason awards. Are there any Knicks that are deserving of any postseason awards? And we're kind of going through this line to see if there are. And so with that said, we talked about Quickley. And the Sixth Man of the Year, and so G Money, since you were talking about all NBA stuff, are there any Knicks or that should be considered for all NBA?
For me, I would say Julius Randle should be an all NBA. I'll put Julius Randle all NBA by far.
Right.
I would either put Randle either all NBA second team or all NBA third team, one of those.
Okay.
Would you consider Jalen Brunson an all NBA team?
I'm asking you. We asking you. Your opinion.
That's tough. I might consider Jalen Brunson too. So Randle for sure an all NBA team. Randle for sure, and I might consider Jalen Brunson. Yeah.
So maybe third team all NBA. Maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe. So I want to go around the chat and get y'all thoughts on this particular topic.
You can ask me, or I'll chime in. Randle for sure. Brunson's numbers are indicative of an all NBA type season, but it's just so loaded at guard, and there's only 6 slots that it's going to be hard for him to make it. There's only 6 slots for him, so it's going to be hard because as much as we like to talk about how it's important to have like a big wing and a big forward, it's still relatively a guard league in terms of on a night to night basis. Like to win a title, you need a big wing, but to be competitive, you need good guard play on a night in and night out play basis. So when we talk about that, it's like he's going against a ton of guys that have had comparable seasons to him.
So efficiency. You think there are 6 guards out there better than Jalen Brunson?
not better, but have had seasons as good or slightly better.
So you think 6 guards out there have had a better season than Jalen Brunson this season?
Yeah, and that's not it. That's not a slight to him. It's just there's only 6 slots, whereas there's 9 slots for All NBA forwards.
I need to hear these 6 guards, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you this, Freezie. I'm gonna answer the question before you get on that topic too. Julius Randle, definitely All NBA. And Jalen Brunson, definitely All NBA. And I'm gonna tell you why they're gonna make sure Jalen Brunson get that award. You know why? Because they know they should have made him an All-Star.
Okay.
And I'll go on record and say this: ain't a better point guard in the East than Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
In my opinion, he's the best point guard in the East.
The problem is it's not point guards, it's guards.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. If it was straight point guard, then he would be in there for sure.
Yeah.
But when I list guards, like here I go, Freezie.
Okay.
Luka Doncic is 1.
Okay.
Shai Gilgeous is 2.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell, Dame Lillard, Curry,
and Brunson. Brunson got to be right there.
Hey, look, man. If you look up De'Aaron Fox's stats, they are almost identical to Brunson.
Right. You really.
And he actually plays a little bit better than him.
Yeah.
My bad,
Y'all really leaving off Devin Booker?
Injuries, Freezie.
Okay.
Injuries. He didn't play enough. It's the same reason why Kevin Durant may not make a team.
Okay.
Because we know for sure Kevin Durant is All NBA.
All right.
He only played like 47 games or something like that.
Here's my thing with the list. How is Tyrese Halliburton not on it?
He's another one that plays.
He missed a lot of games though.
But if you can say that, then why is James Harden not on it?
Yeah, James Harden too. I know.
Good point.
So that makes it even harder for Brunson. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's making it even easier for Brunson, and this is why. This is why a lot of the people that you named, they teams suck.
But it's about the individual award. It's not a team award. It's All NBA. Like if Dame Lillard had a better roster, he would be in the playoffs. But it still sucks.
Dre, let me ask you
or if Dame Lillard made the people around him better, they wouldn't suck.
But we've seen him drag teams to the playoffs before. That team is trash.
But we're talking about this year's All NBA team.
He had talent around him. Nurkic, Anthony Simons, Cam Reddish.
Okay, but Luka didn't make the playoffs. Is Jalen Brunson better than Luka? If we go on numbers, because for sure, because Dame Lillard has numbers comparable to Luka, and they both didn't make the playoffs.
I think the goalpost was moved a little bit because it's not a which player is better than which, is which player had an All NBA season.
Well, I would take Dame Lillard season individually over Brunson's.
But you know what, though, fellas?
Not that Brunson is so bad that he can't make it. Like if it was any other year, Brunson would have made it last year.
But you know what, though, Dre, fellas? Every last one of these awards we talking about, every last one should be tied to winning.
Agreed.
Every last award, all NBA, all that stuff should be tied to winning.
Right.
Agreed.
Because I can't see losers getting awards.
Right.
Agreed.
That should never be the case. Because think about it. You think of a player. Let's say there's a player in the league, right? He averaged 30 points a game, but his team, they want to make him the MVP, but his team is a losing team.
Well, you can't make a guy MVP.
You see what I'm saying?
But that's All NBA. That's the difference between All NBA and
that's what I'm
MVP,
saying. So
though.
when they can try to quantify an award based on a team winning, you know what I mean? Winning should always be the ultimate in every category, because at the end of the day, it's about winning and losing.
It's a bit of a balance, because like you remember when T-Mac was on the Magic and that team was trash? Right. You couldn't tell me T-Mac was not a top 1-2 player in the league at that time.
He should have been league MVP.
And that team was trash.
You talking about the year with Troy Murphy and Pat Garrity and J.J.
Garbage.
Redick.
Well, J.J. Redick wasn't in the league at the time, but he was.
You talking about when Grant Hill was hurt?
Yeah, when Grant Hill was hurt.
Doc Rivers, man. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
And it's like
Drew Gooden.
It's like Yeah, it's for the All NBA teams. You have to differentiate to a certain extent team success.
Okay.
Especially when guys are putting up historic type numbers, dropping 70 in a game. Like you can't just dismiss that.
I get what you're saying there.
It's like a talent. It's like a talent. It's like a barrier, and it's just like it's a talent award. That's what I think All NBA is. It's a talent award with a little bit of team winning mixed in it, and the MVP is almost like a perfect balance of both. That's what MVP is.
Right.
But like when we talk about All NBA, it's a performance based award, and sometimes even when you're performing at an extremely high level, it doesn't necessarily pan out to wins, but it's not an indictment. Like, we all know Damian Lillard is going to be first ballot Hall of Famer, no matter what.
I agree with that, yeah.
And the numbers he put up this year were insane if you looked at them.
That's true.
But that team was just not good.
Well, Dre, let me clarify first.
The
offensive numbers he put up this year were insane.
Okay.
His defensive numbers?
Terrible.
But we can say that for Brunson, though, because if you look at
charges,
but that's charges. But like if you look at all the defensive metrics or advanced analytics, which the voters do look at, we all know Brunson is not a great defender or a good defender.
No,
we know that's not the case.
Right. And so what I'm saying is if we're taking the perfect balance thing, I want to take the perfect balance and have it perfectly balanced, right? The perfectly balanced thing is I would take SGA and Luka over Damian Lillard and wouldn't put Damian Lillard and have Damian Lillard all NBA.
On neither of the three teams.
Nope.
That's crazy. Well, I think he had a better season than Donovan Mitchell.
But listen,
my bad. Go ahead.
Let me do my part of it. Let me.
Yeah, I got you.
So
go ahead.
So, Luka Doncic and SGA, when their shot is going, and that's rare, they do other stuff.
True.
Right? And when their teams are absolutely bad, they just barely miss the playoffs. When Damian Lillard has an off game, and that's rare, Damian Lillard is not a triple-double threat. He's not a defensive guy, and his team sucks a dog.
Well, Freezie, here's some added context. The Portland Trailblazers were in a play-in conversation, and they intentionally decided to tank out of it. Jeremy Grant missed the last 9-10 games with a bruise.
Okay.
There's the other starting guard missed the last 10 games. Yeah, they benched their center.
Right.
They benched everyone. If you looked at their rotation the last 6-7 games while they were still technically alive for the play-in, while OKC was struggling just to get into the play-in, and the Mavs were just in complete flux, playing terrible.
Yeah,
they could have been in that play-in tournament, but they blew up that whole situation and intentionally tanked out of it.
Guess what? They could have been in the playoffs when they made that trade for Kyrie. I believe they said that team was like in the 6th seed.
Yeah. For the top,
or somewhere from 4 to 6. So that's crazy that they blew their team up.
Right.
Yeah. I'm saying like Portland could have made the play-in, but I feel like they made a business decision. They made the same decision that the Mavericks made, but they made it 10 games prior.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what I'm getting at is if I'm doing all NBA, the one certainty I'm going to have is De'Aaron Fox is definitely all NBA.
Oh yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is definitely all NBA, and there are others on the list that I think are questionable. Right? Like we never mentioned Bradley Beal's name.
Agreed.
Right? He's not. No.
Yeah.
Nah, he's consistent.
Why? Because he doesn't put up numbers.
He puts up numbers, but his numbers are his numbers aren't even better than Brunson's in terms of total stats. Like, he's very efficient this year.
Right.
To me, when you watch the games, I thought he was kind of streaky at times.
Yeah.
But if you look up his shooting splits, I think they're like the highest they've ever been in his career.
I know, but it's more than just stats. It's also eye test. It's also you gotta watch the full game.
And in terms of straight impact.
Yeah.
On a night in and night out.
Against us, he struggled.
And also against big teams. He played against the legit teams. He was terrible against the legit teams.
Yeah.
Like, he shot 50% from the field this year.
Yeah.
But he averaged 23 or something like that. But, like, when we look at the Wizards, it's like a lot of guys just getting numbers and getting cardio, and it's like...
And stats.
Yeah, and Kyle Kuzma took more shots per game than him.
Yeah.
Also, Bradley Beal only played 50 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So that equates into it. Like, if Bradley Beal played 70-ish, I guess, they would probably consider him a bit. But it's kind of all in flux because if Jaylen Brown goes in as a guard, then Jaylen Brown's season is really like that.
Right.
So
yeah,
right.
Two-way player on the best
averaging 28
team in the East.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah. So what I'm getting at is I think a lot of these players' reputation has them in the All NBA conversation.
True. Absolutely true.
Versus what impact they had on the league. Like Damian Lillard scoring 37 and his team losing by 11. That don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But like SGA is scoring say 35, getting a triple double in the game where his team lose by 17. That don't mean nothing to me.
But Freezie. I was gonna say for
I'm not a voter though.
Right. Because I was gonna say, SGA, it's like everyone thought they were tanking for Wemby.
Right.
Everyone, he dragged that team to the play-in and that win last night. By the way, he dragged that team with his talent.
Right.
So
like, go ahead.
So I was like, it's this is what I'm saying, Freezie. Like his Brunson season is deserving of All NBA, and in most seasons he probably would be on it. But like in my estimation, he's gonna be right on the fringe. Like he would be
13.
Yeah. But he would be like 7th in the voting, and he would just like if it was All NBA 14, he would be there.
You're being kind though to Jalen Brunson.
Am I?
Yeah,
I'm not. I think Jalen Brunson had an All NBA season.
I think you're being
that.
kind.
Yeah.
I'm saying you're being kind to Jalen Brunson in that you recognize this thing. I'm looking at it from the perception
just black and white.
No, from the perception of an NBA voter that doesn't get to watch these guys play. They understand people's reputations. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance,
and I'm glad you brought that up, Freezie.
Huh?
I'm glad you brought that up because you thinking the same exact thing I'm thinking.
Right.
Because when if you were to take and poll like these people that's voting, you know what all of them gonna say about Jalen Brunson? You know what? I knew Brunson would be good for the Knicks, but I didn't think he would be this good.
Right.
Heck, what's the man? Legler talked about how he was totally wrong on him. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much the consensus. Right. That people are admitting that they were wrong about Jalen Brunson's impact.
He proved me wrong too.
So in the fact that they tell you that they're wrong, this man gonna make that team, and for the same reasons because of that, and because of the fact that they did not make that guy an All-Star when he should have been an All-Star. Remember that guy went on a run of 30-point games of just ripping people.
Yep, in late February.
He sat out like the first game after the results with a fluke because he was probably mad. And he came out and just went crazy.
I just want to throw two names in there that I think will bump Jalen Brunson outside the top 10. I don't think the NBA will have Jalen Brunson in the top 12 of all guards in All NBA.
Nah, that's crazy.
No, it's not
that's
crazy.
If he ain't.
It's not crazy.
I don't. Do you think they not top 12? I can't name. Legitimately, I can't name 7 guards that had a better season, or even in the same like realm.
I got you. But what I'm saying is the way that you look at it. From the Knicks
it's not the same way a voter would look at it.
It's not the way that, say, Zach Lowe will look at it when he sees Anthony Edwards. Is Jalen Brunson better than Anthony Edwards? More deserving of All NBA, right?
This season, yeah. In my opinion,
that's what I'm saying. And then
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? If you're looking at it from a James Harden perspective, averaging a double-double for the season, you know what I'm saying?
Most assists
for the year. And for a team that has a better record than the Knicks, You know what I'm saying? Who do I choose? A team with a better record than the Knicks, or a guy that I know has been All NBA prior? You know what I'm saying? Do you consider
resume.
Trae Young? You know what I'm saying? Do you consider Trae Young
No,
on a team?
That actually might not work in favor in the voting. I think voters are actually down on Trae this year.
Oh yeah, they're down on him this year.
Right, but what I'm saying is even though that may be true, I agree with you. Right, but I'm saying in the mind of the voters nationwide, what do they know? Trae Young went through a coaching change, and then they had a very impressive win last week in Miami, or this week in Miami, right? I think these things play into people's perception, right? It plays. Steph, y'all think Steph Curry is All NBA this year?
No.
Well, that might be a game standpoint, but his play is All NBA caliber.
I don't.
But he might not make it because of how many games he missed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's why they need to revamp that thing, Freezie.
But they are. They're making it. They're making it top 15 players. Period.
Yeah. And you know what else they need? They need to just revamp it to position by positions. You know what I mean? Your All NBA point guards from each position.
Yep.
You know, just do it that way.
3 threes, 3 fours, and 3 fives.
Yeah, do it that way.
But that's not fair. But that's not fair to guys like Embiid because they can only choose one center when we know for a fact Embiid and Jokic are the top two players in the league. That's not fair. That's why they got rid of the center. They got rid of positioning. They're just putting it the top 15 players in the league straight up.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what they did with the All-Star game. They got rid of the.
And that's the reason why Mike Conley is not a multiple-time All-Star.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's so many guards. It's so guard-heavy.
Right.
So, when we look at top 15, it might shift in a way where it would put Brunson in a top 15 category, and it might push Randle out because there's just so many guards that play at a high level, you know?
Right.
It's a weird situation. So, when we look into next year where all NBA voting comes out, Brunson doesn't make it this year because the whole format is harder to make it as a guard this year.
The law of numbers, yeah.
And the format next year would probably make it easier for if you're a top 15 player, straight up, you're gonna make it.
Right.
That's why next year, if Jokic and Embiid both play at the same level, they're both gonna be All NBA first team instead of one of them dropping the second team, which makes no sense, right? Well, the previous format, which was they had centers, then they switched it to front court players.
Right.
Now they're switching it to straight up top 10.
Yeah.
Top 15.
Yeah, and even in that format,
there will be snubs.
There are going to be snubs, bro.
Always going to be.
Exactly.
Right. It's like, and I'm not changing the subject, right? I'm merely using an example. When teams talk about the greatest quarterback of all time,
right?
You know who they talk about?
Dan Marino.
Tom Brady.
Right.
When they should be talking about Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, the best I ever seen.
Dan Marino, in my mind, I saw Dan Marino throw a football into somebody's pocket when they were walking on the field. He just wanted to give them a souvenir, right?
You saw the one where he threw it behind his back like that?
Yeah.
On a dime, on a rope.
Yeah.
When he was warming up for the Buffalo game. And the thing that made Dan Marino dangerous is Dan Marino was putting up them kind of numbers in the league that was still geared around defense. It ain't like what they're doing right now. You can't touch the offensive
7-on-7. Yeah.
You to put Dan Marino in this area, he'd throw for 6,000-7,000 yards in the season.
Right. And Ron, I'm gonna get back to the Knicks conversation, right? But I don't know if you guys remember this. There was a movie, a Jim Carrey movie called Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. That came out like 30 years ago, right? And the guy had a camera about 70 yards away, and he had it zoomed on Marino. And they told Marino to throw the ball at the camera that was 70 yards away. And he was like, well, you just want me to just throw it, or you want me to go through my – they were like, no, act like it's a play. You're going to have the stuff on, and people are going to be chasing you, and we just want you to kind of move around a little bit and throw it at the camera, right? So after they were putting the third camera together, because Dan Marino broke the first two by throwing it dead into the lens of the camera, they were like, Dan, no, don't throw it at the camera, no. We can't afford to have you hit these cameras from 70 yards away on the run, right? That's how good Dan Marino was. So basically, what I'm saying is, in every conversation, there's going to be a snub. Like people don't even talk about Fran Tarkenton anymore, right?
Exactly.
Fran Tarkenton used to lead the league in passing every year. But in this snub with Jalen Brunson, whether you do, Dre, I ain't even gonna lie. When you move, because what's gonna happen next year? The top 15 players are gonna be different because people are getting snubbed right now at positions, right? People are.
And then they're gonna change one more rule, Freezie. You got to play at least 65 games to get on.
And they should. Can't get no award if you ain't at work.
Right. But Dre, but think about this though. Think about this. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, possibly even Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving won't make all NBA this year.
We know they got the talent to it.
Next year it's going to be a top 15. Nobody is going to tell me that Kevin Durant is not a top 15 player if he plays 65 games next year. Right? Devin Booker?
And he could play 10 games. He's still.
Yeah. So if we off the rip know it's 19 players off rip, this time next year we'll be having the same conversation about Jalen Brunson.
That's why stuff got to be made in context on where you play and looking at the franchise and all that kind of stuff and winning and all that stuff got to come into play. That's why I said that, man.
But hey, look, if we look at it this way, if Jalen Brunson hypothetically were to average 26 instead of 24 in the next 57 games, then he's a lot for it because it's kind of like overwhelming pressure at that point, which is kind of the same reason why like Ja Morant would make it, even though he's very flashy, his teams regularly win 50 games.
Yeah.
Dre, you know what though? Something still got to be said for the impact of how two franchises going in the opposite direction.
Oh yeah.
So it got to be, you know, and I think that'll play in them voters' mind too. Like, man, look what happened to Dallas.
They didn't make the point. They're watching The Price is Right right now
with their rival. You know what I mean? You got the owner over there crying, doing underhanded stuff. You know what I mean, to try to get a pick.
His parents were influencing him. Yeah. Oh my God!
And you tell me what parent ain't gonna tell their child to take the best deal? Yeah.
Stop crying. You could have gave him the money. Yeah. And you in a tax-free state. That's on you at that point.
They could have given him They could get Brunson a $40-55 million contract.
It's the same thing they did with Chandler.
Yeah. Hey, G-Money, you know what else got Brunson out the door? They locked him into that 4-year deal where he couldn't get raises from year to year. And once he got out of that deal, they thought he was going to stay.
Yeah.
Right? Jalen Brunson was not a first-round pick. Jalen Brunson was a second-round pick. Yep. And then you watch his second-round picks like Jokic, that after he played 2 years.
Bag.
Yes, earlier than a first-round pick.
Oh, yeah, the like, Denver was like, yo, we know he's going to be this, so we just going we gonna send that bag out. Matter of fact, the funniest thing about the whole Denver situation, they drafted a center in the first round ahead of him.
Yes.
Nurkic.
I believe the same year or the year before.
Nurkic. Yeah.
And he came in there and he won. It was a meritocracy over there.
Yeah.
He beat him out. Mike Malone was like, I need this kid. He's way better. And they shipped Nurkic about it there.
Yo, both of them outplayed Miles Plumlee. Remember, Miles Plumlee was the center.
Yeah, I remember
that. And both of them, the first Nurkic outplayed Plumlee, and then Jokic outplayed Nurkic, and like an 18-month span.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, but ultimately, what I'm saying, Dre, about the All NBA thing is, regardless what the number is, they can make it 20 players, right?
No one's gonna be happy.
Yeah, there are going to be other players that are going to feel left out because they didn't make the team.
Right.
And contracts are on the line.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing that kind of I get making it a top 15 thing because when you make an All NBA team, it affects how you can get a max contract. So, like for instance, this year Jaylen Brown is probably going to make All NBA,
right?
And his max goes up like $100 million.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Like effective immediately, like his max goes up $100 million. He goes from like an extension of 4 or 5 years for like 180 to an extension of 5 years to $290 million.
And that includes likely incentives or unlikely incentives. Like if the Celtics make the Eastern Conference Finals, if the Celtics win an NBA title. Like Julius Randle has that in his contract right now. That's why Julius Randle is only making $23 million, right? Because the Knicks hadn't advanced to the second round. They hadn't won. They hadn't been to the finals. When that stuff starts happening, you'll see Randle's contract upwards of like $28 million.
I tell you what, we better be glad they don't renegotiate contracts in the NBA.
Right.
Because, well, this is how it's going to be renegotiated. Brunson has to opt out after his third year, and if he's out here still playing like this, we gonna drop that $200 million bag on him.
Oh yeah, he gonna get it.
Right.
And he's still young.
Let me ask y'all this real quick so that we can get to what G Money was talking about. I wanna have the all NBA defense conversation real quick. You think you guys feel like the Knicks have any guys that should be considered for all NBA defense?
Quickley should be, but I don't think he'll make it.
I put Grimes.
I'll put Quickley over Grimes.
Okay.
I would put Quickley over Grimes too.
Right.
It's not necessarily that Grimes.
What about our center?
Yeah,
Mitch.
I was gonna say him.
I'm like, hold a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all just leapfrogged him like he was just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're used to watching this and we don't take no, like this dude is serious about what he does.
You know, Lee, I don't take him for granted, but I was speaking from a perspective of actually making it. Because they're just going to toss like a Gobert off reputation over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Janet Jackson is going to make it.
Right. Of course, because that's all they've been talking about him all year.
Hey, Corey,
get love, yeah.
Brooke Lopez.
Freezie knows how I feel about Grimes, but me and Freezie was going at it about Grimes.
Right. The thing about Grimes is
Lou Dort.
The thing about Grimes is like he has the toughest job in the NBA by far, legitimately in terms of his matchup assignments. He takes the toughest matchups in the entire NBA
every night.
So him getting abused, it comes with him. Like, he's not going to get the benefit of doubt with the calls because he's in the second year.
Right.
He's going against guys that can score going north, south, east, west, southwest, southeast, northwest, and any type of direction. Matter of fact, we about to watch one on Saturday.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell knows how to score in literally every which way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's told to, like, yo, you're going to play 30 minutes guarding Brandon. Like, we had him guarding Brandon Ingram.
Yep.
That doesn't even make no sense.
And he held him down to 18, too.
Exactly.
Right.
While Brandon Ingram was on fire. So we're going to see these nights where he gets lit up.
Mm-hmm.
But going forward in his third, fourth year, look out.
Right.
Yeah. In terms of defense, look out. He's in a learning curve. He's in a learning stage right now.
And Dre,
he's Dre,
go ahead, you remember 6 months ago? I think it was when I was calling Grimes a ham sandwich. People were mad.
Boy, you had me mad too, boy.
You calling him a ham sandwich? And I'm like, relax, bro. Relax.
Relax. It got provolone on it.
Right. And what I was
boy,
saying
you had me mad, Freezer.
But the thing is, we were putting at that time, we were putting Quentin Grimes in elite company, and I was trying to tell everybody, don't put him in elite company. He is still raw. At that time, this dude hadn't played 30 NBA games. Right? I call him a ham sandwich. People mad. I hate your channel. You calling him relax, bro. The dude only played 30 games, and you calling him Klay Thompson. Relax.
That was disrespectful there, yeah.
Right. And so what I had been saying the whole time is this. I broke it down one night. It was me, Dre, and some others. And I was saying that this dude is going to have a Paul George, Kawhi Leonard type impact in about 2 years.
Yeah.
But just not right now. But Knicks fans are fast-forwarding Grimes like he's going to have that impact today. Right? And I'm like, relax. He a ham sandwich. Relax.
I'm going to tell you what I was saying about him is that I saw I saw what he was what Klay Thompson was when Klay Thompson first came in the league. It was very similar because Klay wasn't who Klay is now, obviously. You know what I mean? But you could see where it was trending. That's why I was like, nah, he ain't no ham sandwich. But I get what you say, Freezie. You know, hey, he's gonna get there.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can see it. He's gonna get. The only thing that'll stop that young man, and is only one thing.
Health.
There you go.
Health.
That's the only thing that'll stop him.
But
they ain't gonna be
Ron,
nothing else.
that's hey man, I hate to break it to you, bro.
And that's for
but
everybody.
dudes that play at that level that you just mentioned, like I mentioned Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, dominant two-way players, they stay hurt.
Yeah.
They stay hurt.
You're giving so much of yourself, man.
Right.
That's a lot of energy.
Klay Thompson's too injury prone now. Yeah.
Right. They
a lot of energy and effort.
The only guy that we know of that doesn't is Mikal Bridges. And we got our fingers crossed that he'll stay healthy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you ask guys to do all these different things, it's like tight ends in football, bro. They stay hurt. You ask them to be a pulling guard and a deep threat in the passing game, all in the same
Taking
game.
all that beating coming across the middle.
That's
and a fullback.
That's basically what it is. So my thing with Grimes is, man, relax. He'll get there. As Knicks fans, we gotta be patient, right? It took Quickley this long to get into the conversation. It may take Grimes this long to get into the conversation.
Knicks fans got patience?
No.
I wasn't aware of that.
No.
Only the rational ones do.
Right. Right.
But you know what, though, Freezie, I say this, but Grimes, because shout out to my man Nick Yak. I see him in the chat. He said we can find another Grimes. You know what? He said if we lose Grimes, we can easily get another.
Easily? I don't.
That ain't true because
it's not easy.
It's hard to find two
No, he's quoting something that I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's quoting
Sorry
something
about
that
that,
I
Nick
said.
Yak.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find two-way players in this league for every bit of the reason you just said, Freezie. Them guys don't grow on trees, man. And that's why when teams find them, most of the time when a team finds a two-way player, you don't see them get out of town.
Right.
You don't see them get out of town.
Most players are lazy as molasses.
You know, they stay and grow mold.
Right.
Shout out to Nick Yak.
Yeah, and the thing is, and Nick Yak, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and Nick Yak, yeah. I know, I got you. I said that. No, I got you. We got you. The thing about it is I know I said that in a conversation where cats were frustrating me half to death. Like, oh man, Uncle Freezie, you hate Quentin Grimes. You just mad because the Knicks didn't draft Trey Murphy.
I sure didn't think you liked them, Freezie. I ain't gonna even.
I know you always like Grimes. I know you like him.
I didn't think you liked Grimes.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. When we draft Quentin Grimes and didn't try to get Trey Murphy, yes, I was upset. Right, and the reason why is not because of Grimes, the player himself. What I saw happening in real time is, you know, every time, and think back to when Grimes was drafted. Don't think about today. Every time the front office draft, they draft for a position that's blocked. Like, how you going to draft Quentin Grimes and you got Reggie Bullock and R.J. Barrett and you don't have a small forward?
It is stupid.
We had a history of that. Even think when we went and drafted Shumpert, we had Tim Hardaway Jr.
Right.
It's just dumb.
That's the reason. But Ron, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I said that out of frustration. I was wrong at the time. I admitted it. I'll admit it even now that I was wrong by saying that. But at the time, it just felt like every time the Leon Rose front office drafted somebody, they were drafting for a position that was already filled. And you're like, how you gonna draft a guy that's playing R.J. Barrett position? Right?
Yeah.
We didn't know they had plans on moving R.J. Barrett to the 3 at the time.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna drop you a stat, Freezie, in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, and so.
My bad.
And you just made me think about another thing, Freezie, man. Like with this team, man, is the reason why the Knicks right now got a position with this whole Grimes situation, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks front office looking like they was real smart for not getting rid of that dude, man.
Very smart.
This is one of them things we may look back when you said that 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And we say, you know what, man? Good thing the front office didn't trade this dude, man.
Right.
Because the guy that everybody, you know, a large majority of the fan base was up in arms about,
right,
I mean, the team he's on is one position in the standings ahead of us in the playoffs.
That's it.
Just one.
That's it. Just one.
And
Two
that's why
games.
that whole narrative of people still mad about that. I don't know why you're mad.
Right.
It ain't like they're the number one seed.
They're only the fourth. Knicks fans, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, Knicks fans. With a 50.
I'm gonna tell you, man, it's gonna be fun to watch them two go up against each other because the storyline's already written.
Yeah.
We just trying to see how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, the storylines write themselves. Right.
Yep.
I dropped it in the private chat if you see it, Freezie. Yeah.
I got to open it in a different tab.
Got you.
Yeah, I got to open it.
But overall, these playoffs in general is going to be fire overall.
I think our series is gonna be the best one in the first series to watch. And I think in the East and then in the West, I'm keeping my eye on that Clippers
Sun series,
Phoenix Suns series because I think, man, the best thing that happened for Russell Westbrook over there was going back to being utilized the way he is. Let him have the ball in his hand and stop trying to make that man something he ain't.
True, and
they're trying to complain when the man ain't able to shoot off of LeBron and stuff like that. Come on, man. That ain't never been that man's game. It's never been his game.
True.
Basically, you sabotage him by trying to get him to play like that.
True. Another series we should all keep an eye out for, Warriors and Kings. Bet you get your popcorn and your nachos ready.
Yeah, that's gonna
get
be
your
nice
track,
to watch.
get your track shoes on, everybody. Fast pace, transition. I mean, I'm gonna call me Uncle Freezie. Hear me out for this. I think the Kings are gonna beat the Warriors. I know the Warriors are more experienced. I get that, but consider this: the Kings are number one in transition defense. Consider this too: Golden State's very turnover prone. Klay Thompson, he's great at home, but he's streaky on the road. I don't know how Wiggins is going to look when he comes back. Jordan Poole could be feast or famine. Draymond Green's a great defender, but he hasn't been the same defensively this year as he was last year. And also consider the fact that the Kings are a very good road team themselves. Sacramento's tough on the road themselves. If we know the Warriors are great at home, if the Warriors can win in Sacramento, don't you think the Kings could win in Golden State too?
I believe so. And you leaving out another important fact.
The Kings are playmaking too.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown knows the Warriors system.
He came from there. So if anybody know how to wreck that thing, it's him.
Yes, that's my point. And the Kings have playmakers on that team. Murray, Herter, Fox, Sabonis can play make.
I'm going to tell you, if it happened, I wouldn't be surprised. If it happened, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I can't believe they lost. No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
I'd be shocked if the Warriors lost. To be absolutely honest with you.
Yeah, I think they're going to.
Me personally. Freezie thinks they're going to win, though. I think.
No, the Kings. Yes, I think.
Yeah, you think the Kings are going to win?
I think the Kings going to chop their head off. They're going to dethrone the King in front of everybody. I think the Kings might win 4-1.
Right. Oh yeah, we talked. I remember Freeze and I were talking early in the day. Yeah.
I'm not about to talk reckless about the defense.
I tell you what, I can see De'Aaron Fox driving that Ferrari at 100 miles an hour.
The Warriors have no rim protection.
Right, and then the thing I always want to state is the reason why I'm confident about the Knicks versus the Cavs is just because you're new to the arena don't mean you can't fight.
The Cavs are new too.
Right? No. I'm talking about in the case of the Kings.
Okay, yeah.
And something about the Knicks and Cavs too, right? Because I honestly believe whoever wins this series, and this is one of the things that I want to get to, was I honestly believe that the winner of this matchup, Cavs versus Knicks, is going to have a pathway to the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's possible.
Right? And I said it 2 years ago. Everybody laughed at me, man. FreeKeith laughed at my face. FreeKeith was so disrespectful to me, bro. And that's my friend. FreeKeith laughed at my face so hard. I was like, FreeKeith, we trying to do a show, and he bending over laughing and choking up and all that stuff. And I was like, FreeKeith, come on.
Crying laughing.
And what happened was we didn't beat Atlanta, but Atlanta moved on and beat Philly, and they made the Eastern Conference Finals and made some noise. You know,
almost went to the NBA Finals.
Yeah. The brackets themselves is what you have to watch. not the teams.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the matchups in those brackets. You know what I'm saying? If you leave it up to the teams will just be like, yeah, we good. We'll win.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to watch matchups, bro, and styles, because styles make fights. And Golden State wants to go fast, right? But do they want to go as fast as Sacramento?
No.
You know
and
what I'm saying?
then you got to think about Sabonis over there, too. I mean, what answer they going to have for him?
Yeah.
Look, man, but also you got to think about Sabonis on the other end. And Sabonis is not guarding that Warriors spaced out offense. They are going to target him repeatedly.
You saying that Sabonis can't guard Kevon Looney?
It has nothing to do with Kevon Looney.
He ain't going to have to guard Looney. Looney ain't going to do nothing.
No, it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with, number one, it has nothing to do with Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney doesn't start every game. They're going to probably start Draymond.
Look, Draymond's a good defender, but if you actually watch Draymond Green's defense hasn't been the same this year. And look, Draymond's a good defender, but I watched the Warriors this year. Draymond Green gambles a lot on defense this year, and this is the same Draymond Green that got outplayed by Pascal Siakam. Siakam's a good player, don't get me wrong, but just the same Draymond Green that got outplayed by Pascal Siakam in the finals of 2019. You don't think
Draymond ain't no threat offensively.
Exactly. But it has less to do with Draymond being a threat offensively, and it has more to do with putting Sabonis. It has more to do with putting Sabonis in actions where Sabonis has to cover so much ground. It doesn't necessarily Draymond hasn't been a threat offensively since 2016, and they still find a way to exploit other teams' weaknesses.
I see what you mean, Dre, because only thing you got to do is just figure out ways to get Sabonis matched up on a mismatch. You're going to either get blown by or going to be fouling.
Yeah, that's true, though. That's true.
And that's going to be the main thing. With the Warriors are going to attack them because they're going to attack Sabonis because without Sabonis, that offense isn't the exact same.
Okay.
Because he's like a hub. He's a hub on their offense. He does so much for them offensively. And attacking him repeatedly on offense is the best way to neutralize that.
Sure, but
it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Draymond at the end of the season, too.
Right. And
Sacramento is deeper, though. Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles has been big off the bench.
Right. I'm going to give you this, though. Besides the Knicks, the Kings have been the most healthy team in the league. Their lineup has missed the least amount of games.
Dre,
by a wide margin, by like 100-something games.
Okay. But what happens when that small depth lineup gets into foul trouble?
That's the assumption that they will.
I'm not assuming they will. What I'm saying is it might be a scenario.
Okay.
So what happens in that scenario where Golden State gets into foul trouble? What big are they bringing off the bench?
Exactly. JaMychal Green.
Probably Kevon in spot minutes.
Yeah.
But Kevon, if you go by the analytics, Kevon has been far from a negative play. He's been actually one of the most positive players.
I like his game.
He's actually been amongst one of the most positive players. When we talk about their bench issues, they had to their bench issues happen when Kevon isn't on the floor or when Draymond isn't on the floor. Right. It's the other guys that struggle without them. It's like Jordan Poole is so volatile. He can win you a game and he can lose you a game.
That's my point. I have a feeling Poole might struggle in this series. I have a weird feeling, though. Because remember, if you actually watched the Warriors last year in the playoffs, he was good against Denver the first 3 games, and he kind of was streakier than Carwax after that.
Right.
I think Kevin Huerter the X factor for Sacramento.
I want to say the X factor. I think the X factor is just straight up 3-point shooting.
If the Kings are red hot from 3, the Warriors are done.
I won't say they're done.
I can't say they're done, but they'll be in trouble. Let me change. They'll be in trouble. I can't say that.
Yeah.
Because
anybody going to make whoever got to guard him work.
That's a good point, though.
He's going to make whoever got to guard him work, and that's one of the major reasons why Atlanta's suffering is because of them getting rid of Huerter.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah. They chose Bogdanovich over Huerter.
That's true. And Atlanta will be suffering against Boston. I got Celtics in 5. Boston's just too lengthy for the Hawks.
Unfortunately, I got the Celtics in 4.
Wow. You don't see the Hawks in 1 game? Wow.
Nah, they're not getting 1 game.
Wow. What do you think, Ron? Sweep? 5 games? 6?
You know that Atlanta team is kind of sneaky, man.
True.
They have the talent.
They're sneaky. They got the talent. Now they got new coaching. And just seeing what they did to Miami,
they killed them on the boards.
They killed them on the boards, and that is a big team.
And on the back door too, backdoor cuts and drives.
And Trey has yet to really find his 3 this season because he ain't shooting that 3 the way he was shooting it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. He ain't gonna find it against the Celtics. So.
Yeah, they're gonna.
They're trap him.
I don't even think they're gonna trap him. They just, I don't know, like.
But
I don't like. It has less to do with talent. It has to do with chemistry. I don't think they have it.
They ain't gonna have an answer for DeJounte. That's gonna be the problem for them.
They gonna put Jaylen Brown on him.
Jaylen Brown, or even Marcus Smart, or even White.
The thing is,
Smart on on Trey to be physical with him.
Yeah, but the thing with that is, I think Trey has the potential to go off more than anyone in the series because Marcus Smart is getting older. He can't guard these quick, shifty guards no more. You notice when they put Marcus Smart in the game, they throw him on big wings now. And then he plays the leverage game and tries to stop them from getting where they want to go. Like when we play the Celtics, they be putting Marcus Smart on Julius, man.
Yeah.
Instead of Brunson. Which sounds crazy, right?
When they tried to put him on Quickley was cooking.
Just blowing right by him. Like
him on the drive, the floater, the quick step. Yeah.
He can't check. He can't check these guards. Go ahead, Freezie.
Did y'all know that Trae Young has only shot 38% for his career one time?
From three?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trae Young for his career is a 35% 3-point shooter.
That ain't even league average 36.
He's inconsistent as heck from downtown.
I think when we talk about it, it's his shot. It's the shot selection that makes
terrible.
Because if he took good shots, he would be above league average. But he doesn't take good shots. He takes bad shots.
You know, Dre, what you just described. Remember that's what everybody we've been saying about Quickley. Quickley shot selection was bad, but he would take those threes.
It got better, and now he's shooting. He's shooting like last 50 games. I don't know if you're into these analytics, but if your true shooting percentage is above 60, that means you're really good. Quickly over the last 50 games, his true shooting is 61%.
Right.
So that speaks to shot selection and skill.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. You're not gonna have that high of a true shooting percentage if you're taking bad shots.
Unless you're Steph Curry. That's about it.
You taking bad shots and making.
Right. And speaking of a team taking bad shots, Lakers, Grizzlies, a team taking bad shots. Who do you think they make the most bad shots in that series, Lakers or Grizzlies? Who you got?
That game is going to be won in the paint for both teams.
So Lakers got to play the Grizzlies?
Yes. Without Adams and Clark.
I can tell you like this, somebody going to get in a fight.
Dylan Brooks.
Somebody going to get in a fight in that series, man. Man, that's going to be kind of ugly to watch. To be just transparent about it.
Might be low-scoring games. Who knows?
It's going to be ugly to watch.
I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be. I'm going to put it this way. I think it's dependent on how Jaren Jackson plays against Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the key matchup right
and
there.
And Steven Adams is out, right?
Yeah,
he's out.
Yeah,
he's out with that.
Okay.
They've been.
How long is he out? I'm sorry.
The season.
He's out for the season. Okay.
Yeah, he had a PCL sprain, which is not to completely detract, but remember when people were saying Lamar Jackson didn't want to play?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same grade 2 PCL, and Steven Adams is a known NBA tough guy. He hasn't played in 2 months.
Right.
One of those 3 ligaments in that knee. Hey. If
Oh,
I'm not mistaken, I think that's the one that stabilized that thing.
Yeah.
The ACL is the stabilizer, but the PCL is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just really quickly, man. I'm gonna get out of here so that I can work on some stuff in the AM. Right.
Gotcha.
But I just want to get y'all thoughts since we got an all-star panel. Just want to get y'all thoughts on. I'm gonna phrase it in a way. Are the Knicks fans too optimistic about catching Cleveland? in the first round of the playoffs.
Nope.
And I'm asking y'all because about in about February in February we were begging for the Cleveland matchup, and yes, we were begging. You're right. I saw it in the chat. I saw it. Like I'm reading the chat right now. The chat back in February was like, "Oh, Cleveland is a team I want. I hope we make it to the 5th seed. I don't want Philly. I don't want the 3-6 matchup. I want the 4-5 matchup against Cleveland." Are Knicks fans too overconfident about the Cleveland matchup?
I won't say it's overconfidence because I think we're pretty evenly matched with them. Right. So it'll come down to just execution to that certain point, and I feel like we can execute just as well as they can, or better. So it's I like the way you phrased it. Were Knicks fans talking greasy about the Cavs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they were talking crazy.
Yeah, they won.
Oh, yeah.
When we were the 7th seed, people were like, "Man, we ain't getting out the first round versus Milwaukee." That was when Milwaukee was number 1, and Milwaukee was
that's before Josh Hart.
Yeah. And so we didn't want any part of that 2-7 matchup, right? We wanted to get to the 4th seed. You know what I'm saying? So that we can get Cleveland. Yep. We were hoping that we could catch Cleveland and get Cleveland and at the Garden for the first 2 games. It didn't pan out, but we still got Cleveland. Are we too confident?
Well,
nope.
If you're talking about the irrational, delusional Knicks fans, yes. If you're talking about the rational Knicks fans, the realistic Knicks fans, no.
Okay.
But like,
what's the difference though?
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what's the difference, Freezie. You got some of the Knicks fans that just straight up disrespecting Cleveland, just talking trash about them like they bottom feeders or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you got the other contingent that knows what we getting ready to face is a real team that's gonna be there. They ain't gonna quit just like we ain't gonna quit. It's gonna come down. This gonna be might be even the best series of the whole playoffs.
Might get 7.
Both conference. You know what I mean? And so when I look at it, I'm gonna tell you, for me, I'm not overconfident in this thing because I told y'all and I told y'all, for me, and everything for me hinges on Mr. Old Canada.
Oh, Canada.
He is the X factor of X factors. Because I hear a lot of Knicks fans say, "Oh, we can win without this dude."
Right.
But do you realize if this dude don't show up, that puts stress on everybody else? And it's a difference in the playoffs compared to the regular season when you know you got to win these games or you're going home.
Right.
And every loss get magnified. So when I look at this situation, it's imperative for that guy to show up. Like I told you, I don't want to even call his name until
Ron, I was gonna ask you a question, Ron.
Until he stopped playing good, then I'll start calling his name.
Right.
But,
I was gonna my bad, Ron, but I was gonna ask if RJ he who shall not be named plays well.
Okay.
And we still lose. What then? What's the outlook?
I'm gonna tell you what. If he plays well and we lose, that means we took him 7 games and we lost in Cleveland.
Wow.
What if everybody plays well and we lose? G Money. What if everybody plays well and we lose?
I won't be mad if we play well and we play well and we came down to the wire and we lose. I won't be mad. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed, but I won't be pissed.
Okay.
It just depends. Like if we go six,
it's how we
games,
lose. It's how we lose.
If we
get like destroyed in the game 7, like blown out, that'd be different.
But if listen to
7 and then we get blown out, I'll be mad.
Listen to the question. I said if everyone plays well and we lose, right?
Or if everybody plays well and we lose,
yeah,
I ain't gonna be mad. I just tip my cap to him and be like, hey, the better team won. I'll be disappointed because hey, you want to go far, you want to win the whole thing. But I ain't gonna be mad. Now if we get up there and them boys stink it up,
right,
and we mess around and we get knocked out in 5 games, I'm gonna be like, man, what in the world? You know
if we lose by coaching decisions, like it's very close.
Yeah, that too better not happen.
Yeah.
Well, just real quick before I get out of here, and I want to thank everybody for coming through and rocking with us, right? But
appreciate having us.
Hey, no doubt.
Appreciate you, Freeze.
No doubt, man. I wish we could, man. We need to chop it up more often, man. I need to dig into y'all brains, man, and get the goodness out, man. I love hearing y'all chop it up, man. But I wanna say this though, just real quick. If the Knicks play well and we lose, and I mean everybody play well, everybody plays above board, like everybody step their game up in the playoffs, and we still lose, I think the narrative going into the off season is not fire Tibbs, but I think it's going to be we need a superstar.
Yeah.
I think
You
that's
know what?
I
If it
think
ain't
that's
a
going to be the narrative.
superstar, if it ain't a superstar, Freezie, you know what? That might be a little right. But I think I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go this direction. If the Knicks, if everybody play well, I think we win the series.
Right.
I don't see us losing with everybody playing well because typically to lose in the playoffs, that means that somebody or somebodies didn't show up.
Agreed.
Typically that's what happens.
Or maybe Cleveland is just better.
But typically, if you know what I mean, if you lose, it's normally because somebody blows the game, you know, it's crunch time and they turn the ball over, they can't hit shots. You know, typically it's something like that. But if people are playing good, and I'm talking good, above average,
right,
we're gonna win the series.
Okay.
Like it's one of those things where the things that we do well, if they transfer over in terms of taking care of the ball and rebounding, then well, that's another thing. But I'm talking about the things we do well.
Yeah.
If we do those things that we do well, if we have consistent offensive play from our main guys, then we shouldn't have an issue. Like the problem with our team is that we're like inconsistent in terms of just scoring the first time and overly relying on rebounding to save us. If we're shooting at a high clip while having the rebound advantage, you're not going to beat this team.
Okay.
Right.
And that's where the role players come in too, because in a series, your role players got to get you at least one.
Yeah.
They got to get you at least one because your big dogs may not show up every night, but somebody that role players, them X factors, you know what I mean? Hey, they're gonna have to show up. You know what I mean? I know right now I can tell you 3 people I know gonna show up. 3 people right now I can tell you I know gonna show up, and that's Brunson.
Oh yeah.
And RJ.
Them 3 I know gonna show up.
Okay.
You try to get me to call that name.
Yeah. Well, hey, y'all.
Randle might be a little bit gimpy. Randle might be a little bit gimpy.
I was just gonna say,
no,
man,
I'm
gonna get out of here, man. Thank y'all for everybody for coming through and hanging out with us, man. We gotta do this thing again. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Tonight podcast, man.